This doll is not demonic, but this one might be. This is Robert the doll. I'm gonna tell you about a story while I turn myself into a labubu. So this story goes back to the early 1900s. This doll was given to a young boy named Eugene Robert Otto. His grandfather gave him this doll. Why his grandfather gave him this doll, I'm not really sure because it's so creepy. I don't know what child would want this doll, but Eugene loved this doll. He was obsessed with it, just as any kid is with a new toy. But then really strange things started to happen around Robert the doll. One night, Eugene woke up and he found the doll sitting at the edge of his bed. The doll was staring directly at him. He screamed, which woke his mother. She ran to his bedroom and she claimed she heard things moving. Like, someone was aggressively rearranging furniture. She tried to open the door, but the door was locked. She continued to slam against the door, trying to get in, and when she finally got in, she saw Eugene. He was curled up in a ball in the corner of his bed, and on the edge sat Robert the doll, staring at him. And the room around was an absolute disaster. Eugene just kept saying, "Robert did it, Robert did it, Robert did it." The odd stuff surrounding the doll didn't stop there. Some nights the parents would hear Eugene in his room talking to Robert. But the weirdest part is that the parents would hear the doll respond back. Eugene would ask a question and then Robert would answer it, and it was two different voices. Another weird thing that would happen again and again and again, when they would leave the house, when they would get home, the doll would be standing looking out of the upstairs window and nobody was there to move him, almost like he was waiting for them to return home. And one of the craziest claims that that family made is that the parents literally saw the doll run up a flight of stairs. What? What do you mean you saw a doll run up a flight of stairs and you didn't get rid of the doll? I'm just saying, 100% that doll would have been gone. They also witnessed the doll speaking by itself. And I don't know why everyone's just acting like this is totally normal. Eugene keeps this doll his whole life, and when he gets older, it gets worse. After Eugene's parents passed away, and when he was a full adult, he gave this doll its own room with a window looking out at the street. And at this point, Eugene was married, and his wife noticed that there was something weird going on with this doll, and she was creeped out by it, and she's like, "This doll's gotta go. Like, it can't be here." So she convinced Eugene, her husband, into locking Robert the doll in the attic inside of a chest. And he did it. And that pissed off Robert the doll. Visitors to the house reported hearing someone moving and walking around in the attic when there was nobody up there, and people would hear Robert the doll do like an evil giggle or an evil laugh. Kids from the neighborhood also started to complain that they were seeing the doll and that it would watch them from the upstairs bedroom, but it had been locked in the attic, so that was impossible. So Gene was like, "That's weird, I'm gonna go check on the doll," and the doll was not locked away. It was sitting in a rocking chair. Ooh, I have chills, I hate this. Apparently every time he would lock him back in the box, he would end up back in the chair by the window. Now in 1974, Eugene died and they sold the house and a new family bought the house. What would you do if you bought a house and this doll was in the attic? Well, in 1974, this happened to a family. They found Robert the doll in their attic, and when they found Robert the doll, the 10-year-old little girl had an obsession with him, just like Eugene did. But the excitement didn't last very long because then she started to claim that the doll was trying to kill her. She would wake up in the middle of the night screaming and saying that the doll was moving around. The doll didn't mean anything to this family, so they got rid of it. They donated it to the East Martello Museum in Florida, which still exists today, and it's still there. Now, just like the Annabelle doll, Robert the doll doesn't like being disrespected. One rule about Robert the doll is you're not allowed to take photos or look at photos of him. And people have obviously taken photos of him and looked at photos of him. Now, you'll be fine. Just put in the comments that you're sorry for looking into its eyes, Robert the doll, and you probably won't be cursed. But what I find to be so weird about Robert the doll is, why did Eugene keep him? Was this a scenario where he didn't want someone else to get the cursed doll? Because he was terrified of him. This doll traumatized him as a child, and yet he kept it his entire life. I have so many questions about Robert the doll. This is my Labubu look. Are we twins or what? Make sure to follow along and let me know what haunted item I should talk about next.